Today I'm going to show you how to make my gym leg workout, always focused on glutes. You know me. Let's go muscle mommies. But this is an alternative if you want to recreate this workout, but with body weight. So if you don't have equipment, if you're traveling, if you are a beginner and you want to learn the movement so that you can progress and get better at them, but right now you need to learn the technique and the foundation. This can kind of show you how I would do it, because a lot of times I think as a beginner we can get so caught up in having to do circuit classes or like crazy weird exercises to try to just like burn calories or just like do a lot. But what's better, in my opinion, is learning basic form for a workout that is going to get you the results that you want in the future. So right now, if it takes learning how to do a good squat. So right now you can see I traded out that hack squat or V squat, whatever you call it, for this body weight squat. So learn how to get into a body weight squat. Learn the correct form. You can't see my feet. My toes are turned out slightly. I'm pushing my knees out. I'm sitting my butt down as if I'm going into like a malasana, or sometimes people will say like you're going to like pee in the woods. That's the action of a squat. Breaking the knees and the hips at the same time and keeping good posture. So learn a good squat. Now for a good glute workout here, I'm doing a split stance hip thrust. Basically it's a hip thrust, but I'm focusing on one leg a little bit more than the other. So the leg that's closer to me, that is my working leg, and the leg that's a little bit further away has like 30% of my weight. I'm really imagining pushing through that side that is closer to me and squeezing that glute. And you can do the same thing without weight, and I actually make it a little bit harder. You'll see here in a second. I actually pick up one leg, and I just decided to do it right after my hip thrust. So it is freaking hard. Like, this is not easy with body weight. See how I elevated one leg. My mid back is like right there on the bench. I have this fancy machine, but you don't need it. You can literally do it on the edge of your couch, on the edge of a chair. If you're doing this workout at home, a sturdy chair pushed up against the wall is perfect. Or maybe you have a home gym and just have a bench. Basically, you want the bottom of your bra, like mid-back area, to be at the height of the bench. You want to imagine lowering your hips down from like your sternum as low as you can go. If they touch the floor, fine. If it's constant tension, fine. Both ways are hard. Then you lift your hips up and tilt your pelvis towards your face at the top. Now I'm getting a little extra mind muscle connection focusing on that left glute. You can see sometimes I like touch it, and that just helps me to stay focused and intentional. These are the building blocks. Then what you can do is add dumbbells. Once you can do really heavy with dumbbells, maybe that's when you're ready to go into the gym and start using a machine. Build the confidence to walk into a gym. You can see I've got my hat on. I have my noise canceling headphones on. Like, it keeps me in my own world, so I'm not worried about other people looking at me or judging me. Then the next one that I do at the gym here is the split stance leg press. I was thinking about doing just a regular single leg press, but the weight that I'm using, I needed a little help from my other foot. So the leg that's higher on the plate, on the press, is my working leg. I have my right leg right now just a bit lower. So once again, just like I was describing for the hip thrust, the working leg is the top leg, and the other leg is kind of just there for balance. So I'm pushing mostly through that working leg, and the other one is really my kickstand, okay? If I'm doing both sides, I try to rest in between sides, and I actually cut out some of my rest in the video on this one and the hip thrust. But if you're going hard and intensely pushing yourself with a leg that you have to do both, with an exercise that you have to do both legs with rather, Then rest between sides 30 to 60 seconds. And then you can also rest between every set 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Now, if you are doing body weight and it's not like really hard yet, sometimes you can rest down to 1 minute. But the goal is, once you're really good at body weight, once that becomes easy, you start to add weight. Like I said, you go to a dumbbell, then you start to feel comfortable using machines or using barbells, whatever it is, whatever equipment you have access to, you want to keep pushing yourself. So you can do more reps all day, but there's a point when you need to add weight to make it harder. If your goal is building muscle, that's kind of what you want to lean into. So real quick, this would be the alternative for the split stance leg press, would be the step down. You can see it's a similar action. I'm pushing through that foot that's on the step. You can pull your chair up towards a wall, use a bench, and just hold the wall and step down, breaking at the hips and keeping a pretty vertical shin. There's one more exercise that I'm going to show you that you can trade out for a gym exercise. This one is done on the cables. It's a cable hip abduction. I have my foot and my knee turned slightly down, and I'm kicking out and back at a 45-degree angle. I'm really keeping my core sturdy and tight and holding on. Feel free to hold on. And then, of course, you want to do both sides. So I'll show you the other side here. I'm resting a little bit in between, and then I'll show you the alternative in a second, like I said. But I hope that makes sense, like how I'm describing it and why I wanted to show you alternatives for gym exercises, because this is the way you want to head. There's only so many changes your muscle cells can make by adding reps and like adding exercise. If you really want to build muscle and transform, then you need to get better at the same exercises over time. So you want to lean into doing maybe less reps and more weight. So if I'm doing body weight, like the only way really to progress is to add a repetition. You could add pauses, you could add tempo, but reason with me here, the best way to add resistance, to keep challenging those muscle cells to have to grow, is we need to start adding weight. And really the only way to do that is to start figuring out how you can either have access to dumbbells, maybe you buy some for home, or you start to look into gym memberships nearby and start to push out of your comfort zone so that you can keep at it and get those goals this year. Let's go, 2024. Let me know if you have any questions and if this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to subscribe.